There is little doubt that witches were perceived to be vile beings who could bring misfortune down upon common folk with their gaze alone. The heroes of fairy tales and other yarns, witches entered the folklore of the Nordlings. This is true of one especially, Geralt the Riv, known as the White Wolf.
That makes sense.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the hanged man's tree and the wild hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Yeah.
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the north. Soften it before the invasion.
So it was all Nilfgaard.
And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
You wanted to take... Sheila came to Flotsam looking for you.
So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Yorveth was manipulating me.
It's the other way around.
North descended deeper into chaos.
Yeah.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can't change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila. Killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila, and now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days, delirious, in agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us.
Nice.
After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Sarah, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful, no violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau. And a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the northern kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire.
She was when I left.
Alright, why did you wait for me?
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me, well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way, but if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
Let's do it.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Want to fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here.
It's interesting. They both know. Yeah, I like it's. Yeah, makes sense.
The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
I don't. Okay, here's the thing, right? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do here, guys. Give it your best shot or go somewhere far away. I kind of feel like it should end in a final confrontation. It seems obvious, but at the same time, I understand why he did it. So yeah, I'm not sure. You know, I think we're gonna go somewhere far away. We'll give it. But I think we should kill him for what he did to Triss at the very least. But god damn it, game. Get out of here.
I've learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
Are you going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
That's it, I guess. Wow, we just let him go. I didn't think it would come to that. That's pretty big. Let's get out of here.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the kingslayers. Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold Flotsam to Kedwin and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds. Flotsam became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragonslayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwin divided it between them. Years before, Geralt of Rivia had witnessed the fall of the Council and Conclave of Mages. The summit in Loch Muin re-established both bodies, their founders sacrificing Sheila de Tanzerville and her accomplices. Yet Radovid also required humility and loyalty from the proud mages, but this did not sit well with all of them. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Ow. Wow. That's it! That's it! That's the game. That was great. Wow. Wow. You know what it is? I think more than any other game that I've played, in recent years at least, there was such focus. There was such precision in the execution of the game that I think only comes from the smaller studios. Because that was fucking brilliant. The ending, I'm so excited for The Witcher 3 now. Like, I'm excited, and you know, we've seen the big city that is going to be in The Witcher 3, and I'm fucking pumped, man, because that was so good. So as I do at the end of every game, that's roach killing Hensel, actually, right there. As I do at the end of every game that I play, I'll give you guys a quick kind of my thoughts on the game here in the credits, and then sort of an update on what's coming up next on both my channel and on the Colby House channel. So I guess this music is pretty loud, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. It's actually really loud. I wish it would calm down. Just chill out, music. Chill out, bruh. Chill out. Relax. Relax, bro. Really cool art, actually, in the game. It's really cool. Ew. God, ugh. That's gross. So I guess my thoughts are pretty basic to start with. I had a lot of fun. The game is very well written. Not only is it well written, it is structured in a way that makes it feel like a focused story that takes place within a larger narrative, so it's clear that this is part of a 3-part series. But it doesn't feel like it's a setup for the next game in any way, it just feels like its own thing. So I don't think it suffered from sequelitis at all, as a lot of second games do. The combat was pretty challenging to start with, but honestly it kind of became easy toward the end, really. Yeah, it got pretty easy, to be honest, toward the end there. And I was just killing everything. But that's not an issue, necessarily. The other thing is that there were some kind of issues that were obvious, that were to do with, like, translation, that were to do with the cultural differences between, you know, the language that they speak in English, and some awkward cutscenes and stuff that are artifacts of the older games. But honestly, for a game of its scale, of its size, of its ambition, I think The Witcher 2, in my experience from playing it with you guys, is a deeply rewarding game, which basically, I think that the core message, not that everything has to have a core message, but the core message to take from it is that ambiguity isn't necessarily a plot point, it can just exist naturally. And I think The Witcher is a great example of this. The series itself, the novel series in particular, where Geralt is very much part of the world, but he's not explicitly ambiguous, the world is ambiguous, and good and evil don't really exist in the Witcher series, and to me that's quite an interesting concept, because everyone doing everything has their different reasons that make sense to them, and that are justifiable in a good way. And to me that's what makes good literature, because it asks you to question your judgments, your morals, your values, and I think The Witcher 2 does this as well, to a larger extent, and often more explicitly toward the end there, where what Sheila did, killing these kings, was for the right reasons, but then Letho did it for Nilfgaard, and we don't know what Nilfgaard's motives are beyond wanting to control it. So it's interesting, I'll say that much. At the very least, I'm excited for The Witcher 3 and the prospect it brings, because it is several years later, so we'll get to see a more evolved, potentially more civilized North, and all of the challenges that brings, as well as sort of some more advanced technologies, and then obviously the open world format of the third game, which does concern me a little, because if there's anything we learn from Arkham City versus Arkham Asylum, it's that you can make an amazing game, then you can make an amazing open world version of it, but it does lose some focus. So I guess that's what I'm concerned about with The Witcher 3, is if it loses that focus that we saw in this game, and particularly in The Witcher 1, then, yeah, I'm concerned, I guess. So, just that message there, really important to read that. Basically, they're thanking husbands, wives, significant others, children, and so forth. And I think it's really important to recognize that even if you hate the Witcher series, or you thought this walkthrough was terrible, or you hate me, or you're like, get off the channel, this is Colby House's channel, I guess what I wanted to underscore now is that games take time, and they take commitment, and they take emotional investment that is unbelievable. So if you can, and I'm not telling you what to do, but if you can, send a message to to the creators at CD Projekt Red. They have a public email. Just Google them, send an email, and just say thank you for making an amazing game. And I try and do that with everything I play that I enjoy deeply, because I think it's important that someone who has invested time, money, their emotions, their studio, their creativity. That's a big one, is that you have to invest creativity to do stuff like this. I'm an author. You know, it's a big part of what you do is investing huge amounts of creativity and focus into these projects. And I think they did that wonderfully. And, you know, we really have to understand that, that this game, this creation, this project, is bigger than, oh, I enjoyed it, oh, I didn't. I think it is something that is to be examined, something that is to be understood. But ultimately, it's a lot of fun, and I've never felt... It's been a long time since I've felt as anxious to play a game as when I played this. It doesn't make it a good game. That makes it an addictive one. The only other game... Well, the only other game recently where I felt that anxious to play it was... what's it called? Watch Dogs. When I played the story of Watch Dogs, I played it in like 3 days. Haven't picked it up since, but it made me anxious to keep playing, and I think that's an interesting trait of games. I would be concerned if The Witcher 3 did that in the open world, because that's when it starts to feel a bit unfocused. Because if you feel anxious, then you have a big open world. What you get is a sense of urgency, but nowhere to direct it to. So you want to keep playing, but you've got nowhere to go, but do small fetch quests or whatever it is. So yeah, there is, to a degree, some different... There's a duality to that, definitely, that I hope they'll nail in The Witcher 3, where they try and get that sense of, I want to play more, versus the sense of, oh, well, it's an open world, but it does need to have focus, so... if that makes sense, I think, so we'll see how that goes. But I guess my closing thoughts here, and we'll let the credits play out here, but my closing thoughts are... Loved it, had a lot of fun with it, one of the most deeply enjoyable games I've played in a long time, and I think the writing was great, I think the scripting was wonderful, I think the execution was fantastic for its time, the format was interesting. It read kind of like one of their novels, where you have Dandelion recording it, and I will say this, come back for The Witcher 3 on the Colby House channel. It will be epic, and I think Colby's unique brand of commentary will really, really work with the game, particularly because he gets exasperated very quickly, and the combat is very difficult, so look forward to more hilarity from that. So definitely check him out. Check out that series when it does go to air in February. In the meantime, you can check me out at DCMihatepie on YouTube. I don't normally self-promote, but the two things I'd recommend is that you give this video a like, because it lets us know you care, and that you enjoyed the series, and that you appreciated the series. And it lets the developers know that you appreciate rewatching it, or experiencing it for the first time, or you really enjoy, you know, people being in that world and enjoying it. So definitely leave a like for us. It lets us know that you care. And if you've nothing else to do, feel free to subscribe to the Colby House channel and to DCMihatepie, my channel, and you'll get all of our videos in your inbox. Check out Colby House's full walkthrough of Skyrim. He's still doing it. It's a wonderful series. Many videos of that left. His Fallout series. And if you want to catch those, be sure to subscribe. And I think that's about it from me. So my final word will be, I love this series. I had a lot of fun with it. We'll let the credits play out here. But I think that's about it from me. And as we always say, I will see you next time.
There is little doubt that witches were perceived to be vile beings who could bring misfortune down upon common folk with their gaze alone. The heroes of fairy tales and other yarns, witches entered the folklore of the Nordlings. This is true of one especially, Geralt the Riv, known as the White Wolf.